Donald Trump has been having a massive meltdown on Thursday morning. He's been attacking NATO. He's saying the Iranian negotiators are begging him like dogs. He's saying you couldn't ask for any more militarily than the success the United States is having now. He's attacking Chuck Schumer and Democrats and saying, we're going to terminate the filibuster. Meanwhile, in Yemen, the Houthis are saying that they are preparing to shut down the Red Sea soon as they get their activation orders. We're learning that the State Department has redirected close to $2 billion in foreign aid that was originally meant for disaster relief and peacekeeping to Trump's disastrous board of peace. And Donald Trump is holding a cabinet meeting right now where he is attacking NATO, talking about cognitive exams, talking about how smart he is and golden ballrooms. It is all very unhinged. And this as thousands of Marine expeditionary units are arriving in the next 12 hours or so to the Middle East where a potential ground invasion may take place. We're having special forces that are being sent there as well. Things are escalating very, very quickly. Let's just go through this piece by piece. Donald Trump posted early this morning, NATO nations have done absolutely nothing to help with the lunatic nation, now militarily decimated of Iran. The USA needs nothing from NATO, but never forget this very important point in time. Donald J. Trump. It should be noted that Iran now strongly controls the Strait of Hormuz, and they are collecting toll fees essentially from ships that are leaving from countries that are allied with Iran. And right now, it seems that the main objective in this disastrous war against Iran is to reopen the Strait of Hormuz and not regime change. Let's just go after that's what Trump said the main mission was. What the hell are we doing there in the first place while so many Americans are suffering the mass death that's being committed at the hands of Americans in Israel right now, the travesty that's being committed, and just the people starving here in the United States. Let's go to more posts by Donald Trump. He's posted the following. The Iranian negotiators are very different and strange. They are begging us to make a deal, which they should be doing since they have been militarily obliterated with zero chance of comeback. And yet they publicly state they are only looking at our proposal. Wrong. They better get serious soon before it's too late, because once that happens, there's no turning back, and it won't be pretty. DJT. Then Donald Trump posts this comment by a guy named Steve Yates. You couldn't ask for more militarily. It will be studied with envy for many years to come. What, being in a quagmire right now in the Middle East where Iran controls the Strait of Hormuz while Russia provides additional military support, while 13 American military bases in the Middle East have been evacuated right now. That's a win. This is going to be studied. Evacuated because they're all under attack by Iran's Shahid drones and ballistic missiles. Okay. Then Donald Trump posts Chuck Schumer, a desperate, crippled politician who has lost control of the radical left Democrats, will make a deal now because he thinks that if he doesn't, Republicans will terminate the filibuster, something which they should do whether he makes a deal or not. Have you been seeing these massive lines at airports right now? Democrats have stated that they want to fund TSA and get all the TSA officers funded. Donald Trump starts talking about genital mutilization and other legislation and voter ID that is actually voter suppression. And Democrats like, can we just fund TSA? And Trump's like, no, gender mutilization. He's a deranged human being. As I mentioned at the outset of this video, Yemen's Houthis are ready to join the Iran war if needed. Some diplomats and analysts are saying that the Houthis are just waiting for the opportune moment to enter the conflict in coordination with Iran in order to exert maximum pressure. The Houthis have held back their attacks on the Red Sea. Lots of ships have been rerouted to the Red Sea. And there's a strait right there as well, the Bab al-Mandab Strait in the Red Sea. And Iran's just waiting for the moment with the Houthis to shut that down. And they've been using that as leverage thus far. A Houthi leader has told Reuters the group is ready to strike in the Red Sea at the Strait of Bab al-Mandab, right? You have the Strait of Hormuz, Persian Gulf, the Strait of Bab al-Mandab in the Red Sea. As for other details having to do with determining 0 hour, they are left to leadership, and we will know when is the suitable time to make the move, is what the Houthis are saying. As noted before, the State Department redirected $1.25 billion for actual peacekeeping and disaster relief abroad to Donald Trump's disastrous board of peace, which was created right before what is essentially a war involving the entire world right now. Call it what you will. And then Donald Trump held a cabinet meeting earlier this morning, and I will do a whole video on this cabinet meeting. And Donald Trump's like, this was a test for NATO. This was a test, and NATO failed the test. Here, play this clip right here.
And nobody's a match for the United States, but they're not a match for the United States. It's small potatoes. That's why I'm so disappointed in NATO, because this was a test for NATO. This was a test. You can help us. You don't have to, but if you don't have, if you don't do that, we're going to remember. Just remember this in a number of months from now. Remember my statements. They have an expression, a great expression, never forget. Can never forget.
Then Donald Trump says, we had to take a little detour when it came to Iran. I'll show you this clip when he's saying we have to take a detour.
Has been put into our country in the last year. And again, we had to take a little detour. Won't be long. Going to end soon. We had to take a little detour, go to Iran, and we had to put out a fire.
Then he kept on talking about cognitive exams. Here he is talking about taking cognitive exams. Again, it's very odd. Let's play this clip.
Press never reports it. I'm the only president that ever took a cognitive test. I took it 3 times. It's actually a very hard test for a lot of people. It wasn't hard for me, but it's a cognitive test. It starts off with an easy question, and by the time you get to the middle, it gets tougher. By the time you get to the end, very few people can answer those questions. They get very tough mathematical equations and things. I took it 3 times. I aced it all 3 times in front of numerous doctors that I have no idea who they are.
And it's just very alarming that he's talking about cognitive exams and how smart he is and all of this when we have a very serious escalation taking place right now. Sources are telling Ryan Grim and others that naval special warfare teams were given deployment orders yesterday, as well as a bunch of Tier 1 operators. That plus the 82nd Airborne deployment, plus Netanyahu's obvious feint that he expects a ceasefire agreement this weekend, suggest all the pieces are in place for a ground operation within a day. Meanwhile, the parliament leader of Iran, MB Ghalibaf, he's praising Hezbollah's operation, saying 87 operations in a single night. Before the outbreak of the war, I said in an interview that Hezbollah is more vibrant with life than ever before. And today, lightning quick operations and with continuous precision strikes that have inflicted severe losses in Israel. And meanwhile, Israel struck a compound where the head of Iran's Navy was, killing the leader of Iran's Navy. So a lot happening right now over there. Should also be noted the following facts. Inflation surging. The Iran war will fuel a surge in U.S. inflation to 4.2%, the highest in the G7, according to newly released OECD forecasts, also reported in the Financial Times. Details include the jump in inflation is expected to slow U.S. GDP growth to 2% this year and then 1.7% in 2027. Global growth is expected to slow from 3.3% to 2.9%. Headline inflation expectations in the G20 have been revised up by 1.2 percentage points in 2026 to 4%. Eurozone growth is expected to slow to just 0.8% this year. Potential rate hikes in the U.S. and EU are now back on the table, as provided by the Kobayashi report. Now, it should also be noted that Putin is making a killing right now, literally and figuratively, earning at least $760 million a day as the war in Iran drives up demand for Russian oil. Kremlin oil and gas revenues are set to double this month from $12 billion to nearly $24 billion, boosted by soaring prices and U.S. sanction waivers, according to the Kyiv School of Economics. Even if the war ends soon, Russia's oil and gas earnings could reach close to $250 billion this year, 63% 3% higher than pre-conflict projections, the Telegraph is writing. Meanwhile, European Union's vice president, essentially their vice chair, Kaja Kallas, says the following about Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Let's play this clip.
Can't overlook this, and of course, the oil price hike is giving also Russia a possibility to fund this war again, which is really not good for the Ukrainians. So we need to increase our bilateral support, but also the pressure on Russia to stop this war and to really negotiate in good faith.
Meanwhile, you have MAGA politicians like Scott Fitzgerald and others referring to the escalation and the potential ground invasion as potentially interesting. It'll be interesting, is what MAGA Republican Congressmember Fitzgerald says. Let's play this clip.
With regards to this sending of these troops, one of the biggest question marks, would there be ground troops sent? This is the first signal that we have that is now on the table.
Right, Cheryl. Yeah, the president wouldn't be doing this unless they absolutely were trying to secure a specific area. And that's why it'll be interesting to see how things unfold over the next couple of weeks. But I do have concerns about the amount of Shahed drones that are still out there and could be deployed. This is a different kind of battlefield. And I think, it's something that quite honestly, some of our units have not seen before. So it'll be interesting to see how things unfold.
Yeah, Maria.
And here's what Mike Johnson, Mike Johnson, I should say, who showed you the clip yesterday, was ruthlessly mocked after creating an award for Trump like he's a damn child at the Republican Congressional Campaign Committee event. He said, "Donald, we're awarding you the American First Award. Congratulations, Donald. Congratulations." I know, so utterly pathetic. Everybody, that's your morning update. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 7 million subscribers. And thank you all so much for watching.
Want to stay plugged in? Become a subscriber to our Substack at MeidasPlus.com. You'll get daily recaps from Ron Filipkowski, ad-free episodes of our podcast, and more exclusive content only available at MeidasPlus.com.